Do you ever wish you had a personal hype girl? Someone to pump you up when you're feeling down or high five you when things go right? Well, guess what? I'm your girl. That's me. And that's what Talks with Your Trainer is all about. So stand up, chin high, get your party pump on, and let's get after it. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talks with Your Trainer. I am your host, Meghan Trainor. If you're listening to this, just know that I look like a little bit of a hot mess. And if you're watching it, I'm sorry. I actually, in full transparency, wasn't going to do this episode because I'm going through something that's very emotional, and I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to share with everyone what's going on. But then I decided it might be really helpful for me and therapeutic, and perhaps someone out there might also take something away from it and it may help them. So I had all the intentions of talking with you guys about Joni and I's amazing trip to Las Vegas. It was truly such a blast to have that time with my best friend in Las Vegas. You know, just such a fun place. How can you not have fun? And I didn't lose money, so that's always a plus. However, I just decided that I really can't fake being in a good mood. And I think that's okay. I think if you're going through something and you can't be your normal self, just know that that's okay and that people understand and people are compassionate and empathetic when you're going through something. So don't feel like you have to fake it. And especially for someone like me who is optimistic and a positive person and always tries to see the great things in even the worst times, it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to allow yourself to feel the emotions of whatever you're going through. And I encourage you all to remember that everybody is always going through something. I use the analogy or the thought process of this, like when you're driving in a car and somebody cuts you off and you just want to lay on the horn and flick them off and be like, WTF. But then you take a moment and you think about that person is probably someone's daughter. That person might be someone's grandchild, and they're human too, and they have emotions, and maybe they're just a terrible driver. But just keep in mind that everybody's human and we all are fighting something, regardless of how big it might seem or how small it may seem to you. Everybody's going through something. So give everybody a little bit of grace, especially yourself, and know that it's okay to take some time to be alone and sitting in your emotions and working through them however it's best for you. When I lost Maddie, I continued to do my workouts. I continued to show up with you guys on Body by Trainer, and you were there for me. And without that support, I honestly could not have gone through that loss. And it is important for me to keep movement going when I'm going through something difficult. I always talk to people about doing the same, but if that's not for you, and maybe you just need to go for a walk, or maybe you need to, read a book or take a trip, a spontaneous trip, just to get out of town and like change your environment. Sometimes that might be how you grieve and how you work through your emotions. I know that I'm going to continue with my movement with Body by Trainer, and having you guys there for me through this is going to be very helpful again. Just to let you know, the reason I'm so emotional, I got a text message today that I never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would get. And I saw 2 words in it, and it was my friend's name and suicide. And I just don't understand it. I'm going to be crying a lot in this episode. It just happened, so, a little emotional, but I really want to do my best to share with you guys why I'm confused by it. I don't know if anyone out there, if you're listening and you've gone through this, I'm giving you a giant hug because this just happened to me. And it's the worst. It feels almost worse than losing Maddie, because with Maddie, I had this time with her and I knew her time was coming to an end, and I could take that time and have my slow, gradual goodbyes with her and her last, sips of water and her last snuggles in bed. And I had time to process it. And I ultimately made the decision to help her no longer suffer. And with this, it's like, wham, you're not expecting it. And where did this come from? And I was just with my friend. I literally was just with my friend. We were just messaging each other on Monday, and it happened yesterday. And I know one thing. I know I've heard from people who have gone through the loss of suicide that they can blame themselves and wonder if they did enough and should you have reached out more. And I can honestly say in full confidence, I know Rusty knew how much I loved him and how much I cared for him. And we communicated all the time, and we were there for each other. He was there for me. So I can honestly feel at least a little peace knowing that he absolutely knew how much I loved him. And he was just loved by so many people. And I think that's part of the process of trying to understand it. Like, he had so many great things going in his life. And maybe that's something we should all keep in mind, that just because it looks like someone has great things going for them doesn't mean that they're fighting internal demons and trying to work through them on the exterior, looking like everything is fine, but on the inside, they're just fighting something. And so my friend's name was Rusty, and we met when I was 15 years old. I was playing junior golf in the Southeastern Junior Golf Tour, and just such a nerd. And we always joked about that. And like, he called me Legs, and just, because, well, need I say more? And so he called me Legs, and he was the tournament director for this golf series that I was in. And you travel all around the Southeast and playing in these events. And he was the head of this association. And so he called me for the longest time one of his, air quote, juniors, because he was 7 years older than me. And when you're younger, that age gap seems so much more drastic. But now at 40 years old, he was 47. That doesn't seem crazy at all. So he always called me one of his juniors, and he had these relationships with these junior golfers that were trying to find their path in the sport and understand if they had what it takes to take it to the next level and go to college and be in a scholarship and maybe turn pro. And he was always there to encourage and support. He was an amazing golfer himself, an amazing coach. He coached me. He coached so many PGA Tour players, Live Tour players. And I know that so many people are just devastated right now and trying to understand, like, why. However, he and I lost communication for quite a while. I would say when I was 18 years old, I went to college and he did his life. And then 12 years ago, I was on the driving range at the Wells Fargo Championship, which is my favorite week here. I'm so excited it's coming up. It's going to be a really, really tough time for me this year, because that was always Rusty and I's favorite time to go grab dinner and just hang out on the driving range and catch up. And he was on the driving range 12 years ago, and I was working on the driving range, pro shopping. Just kidding. He always said I was doing that, but I was really just enjoying being around these golfers and the caddies and trying to network. Was I going to get into the golf industry? And if I was, that'd be a great place for me to do it, because there is the PGA Tour there. There's media and broadcasting. Is that the path I wanted to go? Did I want to take more of a tour rep position, which is what he was? And he was there at every single tournament with all these other tour reps. So every time a player, needs to get a new shaft, or they need a new grip, or they need an alignment change on their club, they have those tractor trailer trucks that have, the big Titleist, Mizuno. And so there's a whole staff that comes in on Sundays and they leave on Wednesdays. And they're there literally for the tour players to just basically sometimes be their bitch. And I can say that because I was there. And some of the tour players are a bit, diva-ish. And rightfully so. They're amazingly talented, and they're provided with this ability to have someone there to change grip, shaft, whatever it might be. So, hey, why not use it? I would. And so Rusty was doing that for, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many years he was doing that. But I was walking across the range and I hear Meghan, and I look over and I just couldn't believe it because it had been maybe, I don't know, 9 years since I had seen him, had communication with him. But of course, when you make those friendships as a kid, those are some of the most special ones because they were there when you were like so awkward and trying to find your way, and they were trying to find their way. So those friendships that you have as a kid are just so incredibly special, and almost like, nothing can compare to them. Your adult friendships are, of course, extremely special and truly hard to make, I think, as we get older. But the friendship I had with Rusty was special. So when I saw him, I just couldn't believe it. And basically, the rest of the story is that every year we would get together during this tournament. I would go to some other tournaments like the Heritage, which is going on right now in Hilton Head, and that was one of his favorite tournaments. He was getting ready to travel to Singapore and Australia and all this travel, and now it's not happening, and that's just really mind-boggling to me. I don't get it. I actually was playing golf today in a tournament, and I got this text message, and Rusty has always been there to really be like tough love for me. And I know he's giggling thinking about that right now because he's not that kind of coach or instructor that tells you what you want to hear. He's more tough love for Lex. It was very honest and real. And I always knew that I could talk to him about anything that was challenging for me in my career, in a relationship, whatever it was. I knew Rusty would give me the full, honest truth. And I'm so thankful for that, even though sometimes I wanted to punch him in the face and I wanted to yell at him, and I did a couple of times. But he was there just basically I don't really know where I was going with that, but he was there to help me decide if I wanted to play on tour and I wanted to do all of this. Yes, I gathered my thoughts. Good job, Peg. I was playing in a golf tournament this morning when I got the message, and my wedges were given to me from Rusty. He custom makes wedges. He calls it the R stamp. And he made wedges for me that literally say for the clams on them, because he knew how much my clams mean to me and how much Body by Trainer has positively changed my life and put me on a path that I feel like I'm really living my life. And he knew that, and I appreciated how much he absorbed Body by Trainer and what it was for me. So he made me one that had for the clams, and the other one just had legs with a bunch of diamonds all over it. Not real diamonds, just stamped diamonds. And then he has given me my rangefinder, and Bushnell is one of the companies that he was working with, and so it's a very, very, very fancy Bushnell, and he gave it to me. So every time I play golf, I think about Rusty, whether it's from checking the yardage or going up to the green and chipping, and that's never going to change, and that's really, really annoying because I know I'm going to think of him in a beautifully positive way and in such a amazing light because he was that. He was that for me, but it's really frustrating right now. Right now, it feels annoying and confusing. And so I was on the course playing in this golf tournament, and it's a team tournament. So I can't really just withdraw and leave because then my whole entire team would be let down. And the interesting thing about golf is it's such an individual sport. But sometimes you have these tournaments where you have a partner, and I love tournament. No, I do not like tournament golf. Tournament golf is hard. Ugh. Tournament golf is a different game than regular golf. But when you have a partner, you feel a little bit like, okay, I got a little fluff. I got a teammate. I'm going to pump them up. They're going to pump me up. When my partner has a bad hole, I'll be there for her, and vice versa. And I couldn't let my team down. And also in thinking of that, I know Rusty would have been pissed off if I would have withdraw and let my entire team down because of something that he did. And so I stayed, and the ladies that I played with were very sweet and compassionate, and I have absolutely no idea how I hit that first T-ball. I really, really don't, because I was shaking, I was crying, I was wondering why, just looking at the ball and not thinking about golf, obviously. So needless to say, I actually ended up having a really great round of golf today, and I thought about Rusty every single shot, every single swing. And I know that when he chose to do this, he wasn't thinking selfishly. I know he wasn't, because he wouldn't have done that. So obviously the inner demon inside of him won. And there's a part of me that feels a little bit of peace knowing that he's no longer fighting that demon. And that demon is gone and put to rest and out of this universe. I wanted that demon out of Rusty forever. And I was always there for him. He had gone through a lot in his life, losing parents and brothers and relationships. So I know he has gone through a lot, and I know it wasn't an easy path. So every time I could possibly be a positive person to him, it was my goal to always, like, I don't know, it was like a challenge. Like, I just want Rusty to be happy. I want him to find happiness in his life. And when we spent some time together recently, a couple of weeks ago at a golf tournament, I could tell he was in a pretty bad place and going through some things. And we had a conversation after the time I saw him, and he was like, Legs, I'm just really working on some things and I'm not good right now. And as a friend of anybody, that's so hard to hear, especially when you don't know what that's like. Like, I've obviously gone through my things in my life. I've gone through my pains and my struggles, but I don't know what his struggles are like. So trying to be as empathetic and understanding as possible for him was everything I could try to do. And I know in my heart there's no way I really could have ever. So all I could do is control myself and control how I show up for him as a friend and as a person in his life that I need and want him to know how important he is and how much I care for him. And that's all I could do. And like I said in the beginning, I know that he knew that. I know that there was never a question for him to know if his friend loved him and cared about him. And obviously during these times, you think about that. You think about a friend that maybe I could be a bit better at sharing with them that I care. Or maybe I could be a bit better at reaching out to them just to see how they're doing. And these types of things, you know how it is when you have like a loss or a death or something, it always just smacks you in the face, and it makes you really, really realize how incredible your life can be, is, and how grateful you truly are. And I hate so much that is always the slap in the face and the reminder. Obviously, there are other times in life that you can feel that gratitude and you can go through these emotions of, I'm so thankful. But why is it always death that makes you just go, God, I got to get my shit together. I got to be a kinder person. I got to help other people in need. I need to stop being so hard on myself. Give myself grace. Yeah, you've got like stretch marks and cellulite, but dear Lord, is that what matters? Like, no, it's not at all. And I hate that this is one of those times. Excuse me. This is one of those times when I'm really realizing it a lot, but I'm still in shock. I'm really still in shock, y'all. So I will be working through these emotions with you guys through the workouts and through this podcast. I honestly am very, very thankful that I had this meeting today, because in true Peg form, I procrastinated and waited until literally the last moment to record this episode. So, I could have done it yesterday, and then we wouldn't have had this really intimate moment with each other. I will cherish the times that I had with Rusty, and I will keep them in my heart. He was a very important person to me, so he's not going anywhere. And I know that if you've gone through that, you feel the same way. Like the way I talk to Maddie, the way I talk to her when I say goodnight and in the morning, and I talk to her, and I still feel like when I drop a crumb, like girlfriend is there to just get it. And then I get annoyed that I actually have to clean it up. And I'm like, dang, I wish Maddie was here to get that. And then I think about the times that she would just be begging for food. Like I'd be sitting at my countertop and she would be, I don't know if you've ever had a Shih Tzu, but it's very bird-like. It's very like Ewok-esque, the noise. I'm not even going to attempt to do it, but if you have a Shih Tzu, you know that sound. And in the moment, I'm like, God, Maddie, like, stop it. And do you know how badly I would kill to have that noise annoy me again? And it's like, okay, so take a deep breath and just think of those things that bother you that really make no sense for you to be bothered, and just like get over it and recognize just what an amazing thing she was for me. So stop getting annoyed by that. And I know that we're going to have some difficult workouts together coming up, but I know that we're all there for each other. And I hope that this episode helps you a little bit, just knowing how important mental health is and how important it is to not only like obviously look out for others, but take care of yourself. And like through this process, I know I'm going to be researching and reading more about suicide and the process and why people go through it. Obviously, we don't know. They're no longer here. Sometimes people leave notes. I don't know in this moment if Rusty left a note, but I don't think he probably did. And I'm going to learn more about it, and I'm going to grieve through it, and I'm going to do my best to hopefully remind everybody how important it is to take care of yourself. There are those hotlines. There's hotlines everywhere. There's counselors. There's therapists. There's medicine that you can take. And, I think there's no shame in helping yourself through depression with medication. If you can do something to make yourself feel better, why not do it? Be around longer for your friends and your family, because damn it, I would do anything to have him here. God, it's so annoying. And I know that I'm going to work through those, like, I'm mad, but like that demon inside of him was really powerful. And as strong as he was, and as kind as other people were to him, and as loved as I know he knew he was, it just wasn't going to end differently, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I will pray. If you pray, maybe just say a prayer for some of your friends that are going through things, or maybe you're going through things, and use this maybe as an opportunity or a reminder that it's okay to seek help and reach out to people. And don't have shame in it. You don't have to be so strong all the time. I mean, I feel like I'm such a strong person, and I still have my very sad moments, and I can get really dark sometimes in my thoughts, and I'm able to pull through that through the process of prayer, the process through my friendships that I have, and just openly talking to my family and loved ones about what I'm working through. And I know that's not easy for everyone. I know not everybody can talk about their emotions. I mean, I have some really great girlfriends that I sometimes have to pry it out of them. Like, hey, I know you're going through something. I know you don't want to talk about it, but like, please know that I'm here. And like, maybe I'm just going to force it out of you. Maybe we'll just have a ton of Prosecco and then you'll talk. And I'm your girl if you need to have the Prosecco time. Because, it's the liquid truth. I think it's what they call it. I'm not saying please don't do that. That's not my encouragement whatsoever. I'm just saying I know that sometimes it's easier to talk when you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, but in all honesty, please don't let the Prosecco be the reason that you talk to a friend. Talk to a friend because you're working through something, or talk to a person that is medically trained and know that it's okay to feel like you're not strong. Someone said to me when I was working through my emotions with losing Maddie, and she said, just because you are sad and crying does not mean that you're not strong. It actually just means you're real and you're a human, and we all go through this. So don't feel like you're weak if you're crying or feeling like you can't handle something on your own. Nothing is intended to be dealt with on their own. That's why they have helplines, and that's why they have people who go through years and years upon training to know how to mentally help someone work through it. I know I need someone. I know they have that talk space, and I've been thinking about doing that, just working through some adult things in my life, and I think it's great to talk to somebody. And I'm going to put this out there because I need a little accountability, but I want to talk with someone. And it's not because I'm working through something really dark or deep or anything. Obviously, this is awful, but it's just the day-to-day life. Don't we need someone to talk to? I mean, it's called Talks with Your Trainer. You can talk to me. I'm not medically trained, so please seek someone who's medically trained, but I'm here to talk with you in our workouts through these difficult physical times, our 40 minutes of physical challenge. That is a very therapeutic process. And I hope that you feel better after our workout. Those 5 minutes before you don't want to work out, you give yourself that 5, 6, 7, 8, you go do it. And then you said, damn, I can't believe I almost didn't do that. And that's why I know, like, today I cannot do a workout because I just, me, when I do these workouts, I'm high energy and everything. And I just know it wouldn't be something I could do. I just know it. But that doesn't mean tomorrow I can't, or the next day, or the next day. Or if I need that time, I know I can take it as well. I know I can give myself that grace to know that it's okay, Meghan, if you still can't do it, or today is just not a good day for you. I always want to be completely honest with you guys through these workouts, and that's why we've had many therapeutic moments together where we've cried in these workouts. We've cried because we've been happy together, and these workouts are what have gotten me through a lot. So I will be there, okay? You're not getting a freebie here. So I will be there to absolutely kick your ass, and we're going to work through it all together. I feel like there are so many things that are on my heart right now that I want to say, no, I'll say later. But I feel like this, what I have shared with you now is hopefully helpful enough to know that there are people out there if you need someone. And I hope you never have to get that text message. Because, oh my God, this is not real. I want to text him today and tell him how great I played today. And I know he's watching me. I know he is. It's so annoying, but he's not here. And I'm grateful for the 25 years of friendship that we had. I'm so grateful, Rusty. Thank you for giving me shit throughout our friendship and being there to push me and motivate me and encourage me and call me on my bullshit when I'm really, it's not real. You're like, you're thinking it in the wrong way, Legs. That's not right. Think of it differently. Thank you guys for listening to this. My positive note at the end would just be to give yourself grace, give other people grace. Remember, if somebody cuts you off, they're probably having a bad day. They're somebody's friend. They're somebody's sister. Give yourself grace. If you can't work out one day because you're sad, get over it. It's fine. Okay? Hopefully, God willing. My grandmother always said that. Drove me nuts. God willing. I'm like, Grandma, that seems very morbid. But honestly, God willing, there will be a tomorrow, and you can have the opportunity to try again. And just keep trying. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. Push forward. You are strong, even if you're crying. You are going to be able to get through it. I just wish he would have called me, but I know that maybe that wouldn't have been enough. And I'm not going to think too much about that, because I'm trying to do my very best to just remember the positive things about my friendship with Rusty. So please don't give up. If you're going through something tough, don't give up. It's like that country song. If you're going through hell, keep on going. Don't slow down. You might get out before the devil even knows your name, you know? Oh, man. So reach out to someone. I am here as well, but mostly just for giggles and squats and burpees and laughter and Celine Dion and crying and having fun, party pumping, fireball shots. I'm here for you in that sense. But please don't give up and reach out to someone if you're struggling. And call your friends. Let them know you love them. They don't need to respond. They will read it and they will know. I sent Rusty a text message today. I thought about it. I was like, the last message I sent him was on Monday, and it said, "I'm thinking about you, sweetie." And he didn't write me back, and that's okay. Sometimes he did that. And after I found out today, I thought a lot about it, and I wanted to send him a message and tell him, I'm so mad at you. I'm so mad at you. We have so much more fun to have. We have so many more rounds of golf to play together and silly dinners at Del Fresco's during the Wells Fargo. But instead, I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted the last message that I saw on our text thread to say that I love you. So I said I love you, and of course it didn't get delivered, but I know that Rusty knows how much I love him. Oh, thank you guys for letting me work through that and continue to work through it. This is a process. As you know, if you've grieved anything, you know it's weird and wild and comes in waves. And some days it feels like, I think I'm good. Like, I remember when I was going through Maddie, I'm like, I think I'm good. And then the next day it's like, no, you're not, you are not good, girl. And you just have waterworks. And that's, I know, the process that I'm going to be going through with this. Hopefully then the next episode is happier and brighter, but I feel thankful to have a platform that I can come to and talk even when it's sad. I love you guys. I'm here for you. Please continue to show up for yourselves. Continue to show up for your friends, your family. Thank you for showing up for me. And I know that we'll get through this one squat, one burpee, and one fireball at a time. I'm ready to party pump and feel happy and understand that it's okay for me to be in this sad place. So thank you, everybody, Studios, for being here for me and giving me deadlines. Even though it's the last hour, we made it. So thank you. Talks with your trainer, people. I love you. Body by Trainer. Love you guys. And I'll see you on the next episode.